Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This report is for, well, the 28th of May. Memorial Weekend took place. Not a whole lot happened in the futures market from there, but you can see that from what we're looking at DOC-wise, we're in a pretty weak configuration here as far as, shakeout DOC. So the expectation is that we probably won't hold this 23%. We haven't dipped below the red line, so we haven't reached an oversold condition as of yet. Likely that we're going to come back and retrace this bottom move. We still haven't got down to the 2762, which was sort of a broader algo level there. But nonetheless, we're probably going to be trying to retest these lows here to see about matching this move right down here that had already produced the double bottom. At this particular point, we would need to see that orange really nosedive further to stabilize things. Hasn't happened yet, so we're just going to have to let it develop. You can see that we're getting pretty consistent with NASDAQ, similar kind of view. A little bit more stabilization, though, with the midterm buyers in the green and that sort of flattening out here. No matter what, though, this has already produced a lower low from a DOC red standpoint. So kind of a overall weak suggestion. Now this rising low, we're just about meeting it, but I'm guessing that this is going to end up making a new dip below there. And the euro bouncing off of the European elections didn't go as well as some had hoped for pro-euro, so kind of easing back off of that initial positive pop. But we did make the new low, which was something we expected because we needed to retrace the dip down here, and it did that, retraced it all in one day, but not enough to produce a turnaround, especially since we've not seen a reset of that steel. So that's going to continue to be soft, and that also puts pressure for the markets because the S&P, with the amount of benefit they get from a bonus euro, certainly has an impact. Gold, having reached down and made the new lows, popped back up a little bit. We'll see how long that's able to last, but likely we're about to come back down to these lows again. I'm going to move back up intraday. You can see we continued that beautiful rise. We ended up with the nice DOC spreads that came in off of the first DOC spread here. That one turned around pretty quick right off the bounce, made a new high, but it produced the exact same DOC spread configuration. And there was a little warning right here that we might get a bullish pop. It just couldn't produce decent green crossover at the same time you're getting a dip of orange, and it just kind of traded there before it started to break down, particularly on this rejection right here. Really led to the indication that you're going to break that 50%, and you ended up making the new low right back down to the 0%, which is literally was very close to that 2819 algo. It was slightly above. I thought they might actually get to it, but it didn't quite happen as the orange dipped down and you had buyers supporting in there. Pretty much we've just held right across this midpoint coming through, and so in the pre-market of the Memorial Day, there really wasn't a whole lot of anything happening within that trade, and we're kind of stabilized right here, just about that 2830, but from the daily standpoint, it's not looking all that particularly great. So I'm expecting a little more range as we get close to this end month now. So we've had a pretty good string of volatility, and kind of tapered off here into the last few days. But I think we're seeing a stabilization. But I think that should we see any selling, it's likely to be a bit more exacerbated, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that 28 taken out if we start to dip below. That's what I would be looking for, but as always, though, we'll take whatever readings as they come. Right now, we're within a short configuration. We get some steel crossover to the upside here with orange dipping, but that's going to have to cross above the cyan in order for that to have any legs. Otherwise, I would expect a little bit of a pop and then break down from there. So that's where we'll go with for now. I will be sending out indicator renewals and that A few more adjustments have been made on the Opus 2, and I don't know that you'll notice the changes. It's just going to reflect in how it shows up with the X-buys and then the coloration change. So it'll be, again, one of those unseen things that just sort of like evolve, which is always, I think, the best way, because it just gets closer to identifying exactly what we're looking for from our really strong buy opportunities, where we're getting strong momentum from red DOC and able to verify that we're going to have continuation moves. So all good from that standpoint. As always, if anything significant pops up, I will certainly get on the Skype chat and put it out there. As always, though, we'll talk again later. Trade well.